Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Linfield Coaches CatChat. Joe Stewart here with head track and field coach Travis Olson on the week of Northwest Conference Championships. Coach, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's whenever championship season comes around, I'm ready to roll. It's a great time of year. We've worked really hard to get to this point, and I think they're ready.
That's awesome. Yeah, you know, watching the team during practice a little bit and that kind of stuff, you can always tell the vibe kind of builds up a little bit more heading into these last couple weeks.
Absolutely. In track and field's a little bit different compared to some other team sports, just because our workouts are designed to peak at a certain time, and so naturally they're feeling better. So they are definitely feeling better and feeling fresh and ready to compete really well.
Nice. All right, well, let's dig into some different events here. The headliner this year, I feel, has been the sprints, particularly with Mackenzie Fineglass having a phenomenal season. She's coming off running the top time in the 100 and the 200 for the women's in the entire conference this year up in Portland last weekend. Just what has it been like to watch her success this year?
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, she came in and really kind of, I think, made a huge change as far as her commitment level. She was, obviously committed, but she realized if I really want to go to the next level, I gotta up the ante as far as my commitment and doing everything outside of the track, and as far as the weight room and everything that goes along with that. She really has put in the work, and those that work hard, that pays off, and it's really paid off for her. And it's been fun to see her those times drop, and she's flirting with some national type marks and times. So I'm excited to see where how conference goes for her. She's going to have some competition, but she's ready to roll, and I think leading up to nationals, she is going to I think make a good run at qualifying for nationals.
That'd be pretty awesome to see that. She's electric on the track, watching her the way she's beasted out this year. But on the men's side, you got two returning champions through their careers. Dylan Jackson won the 200 last year, and of course Chandler Morris won the 400. What do you expect out of those guys as they get back to that stage?
Yeah, every year brings different people in the conference, and they have some competition this year. There's a guy from Whitworth who's going to give Dylan a run in the 200, and along with some others. So he needs to be ready to compete just like he did last year, and I do expect he'll compete really well in the 100 and the 200. And Chandler is the repeat, returning conference champ in the 400, and I think that he's certainly a favorite in that event as well. But again, there's some competition, and we got to go out and perform. But he's feeling ready to go, so I expect some great things from both of them.
On the distance side of things, this is a group that it definitely seems has really started to just trend in the right direction these last couple of weeks and start to be running some really great times. I was talking to Mike Blackmore a little bit yesterday about their performances up in Portland, and Alex Oathout's a guy that's been consistent all year long, but Calvin Cahill just ran the top 800 time for that meet last weekend. And then on the women's side, Jenny Torres Bermudez and Michaela Erickson have been as solid as they come. What are you looking for out of the distance runners?
Yeah, we're going to score some points in the distance. I really believe that. They have some confidence that I think that hasn't necessarily been there. So they're fully expecting to be in the points in every event that they run. Alex is a great competitor. I really think that he's going to do really well this conference championships. Calvin is very confident, and we're going to double him in the 15 and the 8. So I think that we're going to do really well with those guys, and we have some other 800 guys that should maybe sneak in as well. So Michaela is going to finish her career, I think, competing really well. She's had to deal with student teaching and all that stuff that goes along with it, but she's handled it really well and is, I think, in great form right now. And even, Jenny is a nursing student, and so she's probably got even more of a workload that she's had to deal with. But again, she's handled it extremely well, and she's a competitor as well. And so I feel really good about the distance crew on both sides, and I'm expecting points from them.
How has that been, or what is it like to watch athletes like that that are in these rigorous majors, have to be these top-end students while trying to be the best athlete they can be as well? Obviously, it's something we encounter in every sport in Division III, but what's it like watching that?
Well, I've been doing this a long time, and I've noticed that the ones that are in those tough majors, like a nursing or student teacher, they still perform really well because they have that mindset that they can handle it anyway. And the ones that are good at that are good out at the track too, because they're just committed. They're committed to being successful in both.
Talking about the hurdles, young athletes, and we'll get into the jumpers. Hurdles and jumpers, you got a lot of freshmen and sophomores that have been contributors. Jordan Roberts and Yahaira Rodriguez have both looked really good on the women's side, and Javon Cloy has been a guy who's kind of burst onto the scene on the men's side.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan and Logan, they're twins, right? They played basketball. They came out late. So Jordan was definitely someone that I fully expected to be one of our top hurdlers this year. Just needed to get her feet underneath her a little bit. So we're working through really this is kind of a mid-season time of year compared to everyone else. And so we're trying to just keep her fresh and healthy and ready. And, she had a PR season's best last week at Lewis and Clark. So I fully expect her to do well in the hurdles. And Yahaira is been running well as well. So I feel like they're both gonna be right there when the gun goes off and ready to score hopefully get in the final and score some points. Javon, I've been really excited about him from day one. He works extremely hard, sometimes a little hard on himself, but someone that I think is ready to bust out a good race and be someone that, if not on the podium this year, he's going to be fighting for that top spot, from years for the next few years.
That's exciting to hear. He's another guy that's it's fun to watch him compete out there. Yeah. And then, you mentioned Logan, Jordan's twin sister. We saw them do some pretty athletic things on the basketball court in their freshman years this year, but she's been doing a fantastic job jumping for you on the high jump in particular. Posted the second best time for anybody in the conference at the Jen Boyman Invitational a few weeks ago. What have you liked out of her?
Her competitiveness is awesome. Both her and Jordan, they compete really well, and they don't like to lose. And it's been fun, especially at the Jen Boyman, to see her, kind of get her legs underneath her and jump like I know she can. And she's just one height away from making the national meet.
Wow.
So that's the kind of jumping that she's doing right now. So in the I really expect her to really rise to the occasion at this conference championships and just compete, and she could win a conference title.
Wow, that's high praise for a freshman. Andrew Trow, another freshman on the men's side who's been doing pretty well in the high jumps. What do you like?
Yep, a lot of potential. We're trying to get him stronger. I think that'll help with his health a little bit. He's been a little banged up with his knees and that kind of stuff. So trying to keep him healthy. He's ready to go for sure. Another one that doesn't like to lose. So I fully expect he's going to be, fighting for a podium spot in the high jump.
Your men's throwers are very experienced. Matt Metcalf, Grant Jackson, Jacob Slifka have all been contending in these conference championships for years now. Nick Olson, as a sophomore, has been a guy who's really impacted things with his shot put. What do you like out of that group of throwers picking up some points potentially for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're there they're in position to score points for sure. They have experience. Grant has experience if he can just let it happen. That's the thing in track and field and especially the field events, those technical events, you can't force the issue. You have to trust that you're going to perform when it counts and instead of forcing it. And he's one that has potential to put one out there, along with, we have 4 guys in the hammer. That hasn't been the case in years now. So I feel good about some points coming out of that event with Matt Metcalf is actually leading that group in the hammer. Jacob Slifka has opportunity to throw far, and same with Nick Olson. And so those 4 I think are going to do well. And Jacob in the disc is just going to be a guy that he's ready to bust one out for sure. He's by far, like everyone in the conference knows, he's the favorite. Obviously, you have to go perform, right? He was the favorite last year, and he didn't win. So he won as a freshman. But he's, I think, ready to throw one pretty far. At the conference meet this weekend. And then Matt Metcalf in the javelin. He's a guy that he's been dealing with some calf issues just like he did with football. He pulled a calf, and I think that he's healthy and ready now to perform well at conference and hopefully get a national qualifying mark for sure. Along with Zach Young, is already kind of has a potential qualifying mark in the javelin. So I feel like Zach and Matt, are ready to score pretty high in the javelin for sure.
I forgot to talk about this with you in our prep, but relay teams, quickly, what are you liking there? I know the 4x4 women's has looked really good, but overall, where are you liking on the relays?
Yeah, I think our women's team is right there to be podium on both. It's hard with the 4x4 because a lot of teams in the conference don't put their best people out there until the very end. So it's hard to tell. Like, yeah, we're ranked number 1 with the women's 4x4, but who will be running at the conference championships for every school? So, but I still think that there's potential there to be podium on both both the 4x1 and 4x4 for the women's teams. 4x1 for the men, I think we can put a good team out there that can contend. And then the 4x4, I think we're in contenders too for a podium spot. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. The 4x4 is always fun, right? At the end of the last event, and everybody gets fired up for that one for sure.
Your big multis guy this year has been Ronan Kruzikowski. Obviously, he had big shoes to fill with Keaton Wood moving on, but Ronan's been really solid in a lot of different events this year. I believe came away with a third-place finish up at the multis last weekend. What do you like out of him, and where are you looking for him to help out this weekend as well?
Yeah, he's a guy that, he's a fifth-year senior, right? And so the experience is there, and he's always been a guy that has a lot of confidence in himself, and so has been one that I've never really worried about. Decathlon, there can be a lot of worries. If you're coming down in the pole vault and you have 2 misses at your opening height, you could come away with no points in the pole vault. And he's always had that confidence, like, I got this. And he really showed that at the conference championships in the multis, and ended up doing really well. Top 3, and that's awesome for him. PR as far as an overall score. So, but he's not done. He has the 400 hurdles, which I believe he can contend for a conference title. I believe he can contend for a conference title in the pole vault as well. So he's a big piece of our team, and he's also going to be on our 4x1 probably and our 4x4. So he's a busy guy that I think can be a big contributor for us.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this a lot of years now. Of course, you had your own great career here at Linfield. The camaraderie of track, just the vibe of hanging out at the track all day during a meet. I know it's fun every time, but what is it about the conference championships that you really love?
Well, it's just a culmination of just all of the work that we've put in, right? And we have that always. It's always at the end of the road there that we're just shooting for, and so the excitement builds as we move along throughout the season, and as we get closer, it's just, here we are, and we're ready to go. And I'm always a guy that it's pretty simplistic. We have to learn how to get in the right frame of mind to compete at a high level when it counts. And it's all about competition, and never putting anyone on a pedestal. Don't really look at the rankings. We just go out and give our best effort, and anyone can beat anyone on any given day. And that's the fun part about track and field is, if we give our best effort, anything can happen. And I really feel good about heading into, this championship season with our team, and the excitement is pretty high.
Well, I'm excited to see what you guys can do this weekend. Once again, Wildcats competing in the NWC 2023 Championships down in Salem, hosted by the Bearcats at McCulloch Stadium. Coach, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.